Hi friends. Just wanted to do a video. It's January 2026. I've been hoping to do a video since November of last year, but just life, and I got sick twice, and like it was like a long season of just not feeling like I had time or whatever. Holidays, everything gets busy, and then yeah, so here I am in January. So I just wanted to talk over a couple things from last year, and then a couple things for this year, and just it's a mix of everything, music and crafting and all that stuff. I'm in this room because my kids are watching cartoons, so that's fun. And then yeah, so I'll just start in. Hopefully I don't get too out of order, but I usually show a mug, so I've been wanting to show this mug for a long time. It's so cute. It's so cute. I had to find a second one to gift to a friend. This is just like decaf vanilla chai. Pretty good. So for music box segment of my show, I wanted to show off my grandma's Banjolin. So this is my grandpa's necktie too, which is kind of fun. And fun fact is I used to make tie skirts. My sister and I made a few when we were in high school. So here's this cool gray. So yeah, it's been fun to just try to practice something. I mean, I play keyboard and piano sometimes, but like to try to practice just an instrument for the fun of like learning chords and practicing, it's been good. I've been trying to do it every day for maybe a few days now, or up to a week. And then I was looking online. It's unmarked, so I mean, I haven't opened it up, but it's unmarked, so it seems like those were common between the 20s and the 40s. And then the case, I was able to find a marking on the case, and so best guess is that was made in the 20s to the 50s. It's a challenge case by Gibb. I don't know how to pronounce that, but anyway, so that was kind of fun to find that out. But yeah, it's been cool. It's actually on it's on somewhere on Soon Fall Will Be Here. I don't know. It might be on one of the space like little interlude ones. And then I think I played it at my first show. So that's kind of fun. I think there's pictures of me playing it at my first show. So yeah, in 2025, I did lots of projects. I was trying to finish up old projects, like craft projects, I mean. I did make a denim quilt, which was really fun. And I started another quilt, which I'll talk about soon. And then I finished a sweater project that was like a couple years in the works. So that was like a big relief just to be able to like have it done. It worked out. The sizing worked out. Gift it. It was just really awesome to do that. And yeah, so I'm always juggling like, you know, real life, like being a mom and stuff, and then also like wanting to work on projects and get back to music. So oh, I also wanted to show off my earrings. So these are like library card date earrings, and I found them on Etsy. I can link maybe if the shop, I don't know if she still has them, but I'll link to that if she does. Just found them. I was like, those are cool. So I have worn them to volunteer at the library one time. That was really dorky and fun. Another thing from 2025 was my milkshake song came out as a single. So I made a little zine to go with it. Zines are fun. Like I've been making them because you can mail them with just a stamp. And it's something for these like digital singles. It's something like people could hold and like look at, and it's just like an extra piece. So I did that for roller skate and milkshake. And my next one, which I think is going to be called Sidewalk, is gonna have a zine too. So other things I did for milkshake stuff is I made this cute little sticker. So if anybody bought anything off Bandcamp, I was sending out a little sticker with it. And then I made keychains. Uh-oh, where'd my other one go? Well, there's two designs, but right now I find one of them. And so just these little shrinky keychains, and they are kind of, you know, these were some of the more less perfect ones that I've saved, but it's hard to get them flat, like as a thing to make like multiples of. It's not the best material so it's something where like I've gotten better at over the years, but as far as like a big run of something, it's not that great. But it's still really fun to like just color them, have fun with that. So I may or may not ever make shrinky dinks again for Upsidedown Cat, but there's a few up on Bandcamp if you really want them. And I have put one on my own keychain, so it's just like with normal wear, like the edges have kind of worn down. It's more like rounded, but the design is still like really nice and clear. So that's been fun, like on my keys, just to, you know, have my own keychain. So yeah, Milkshake was really fun. Also, with that release, it had, if you get it on Bandcamp, it's a couple dollars. There's some old demos. So I had a version of Milkshake from 2006, or 2006. A song called Far Apart from 2008, which is like a cool song, but I just decided I don't really want to redo it. I just want to keep it as is. And then the Norway music video version from 2007, which so far has only been on a YouTube video, which my little music video my friend made. So yeah, so again, with the next single coming out, Sidewalk, I'm hoping to include a couple other old demos, because I do have stuff on cassette tape or just old stuff on my computer that like you know, might be of interest to the super fans. Motivation, I think, is something that people who do all kinds of creative stuff, you know, it's hard to stay motivated just on your own sometimes. So just been thinking a lot about that, because I'm trying to encourage other creative and musical friends and also just keep myself going. So yeah, so the plan for this year is I have another single. It's kind of like the third of this series, and then after that it'll be different stuff, something longer at some point. I have supplies ready for various ideas, merch, and like I have cassette tapes or CDs set aside, and I even have like CD cases someone gave me where I'm like, I could print on these or whatever. So yeah, I just have to figure out like how many songs, how many releases, how many songs, like what's best for I ran through like 7 songs the other night and was like the ones that are closest and I was getting pretty excited about. So yeah, just keeping the momentum up, and yeah, I'm really excited about that. Okay, but I was going to talk about the 100-day project. I don't know if I've really shared about this on videos. Maybe I have. But yeah, it's just some stuff. So 100-day project, somebody somewhere made up, but it's like you pick something to do for 100 days that you think can take, you know, 10 or 15 minutes a day. The recommendation is to have something that's like portable. So if you're traveling or on vacation or whatever, you can take it with you. Like if you have 5 minutes in your car, you could, you know, sketch whatever your thing is. A lot of people do sketches and paintings and drawings and stuff. And people do all sorts of projects. And some people do, they're like, I'm going to do 100 of trees, like drawings of trees or embroideries of trees. And then some, it's really cool, some of them they'll like combine it all at the end and you'll see like all their pieces and stuff. So I've done it a couple years, but more of like a how to finish up old projects that like take a long time, like things like embroidery where it just takes a really long time to get through, like a cross stitch project or something, or even like some big knitting projects. It's just like a kind of that like daily motivation thing. So usually I like swap between projects and stuff, but anyway, I just wanted to show off just a couple things. So these are some hand sewn hexagons I made. The process is called English paper piecing. So there are papers in these. This is like how grandmas would make them back in the day, the big quilts that had flower shape like this. So you just like sew these teeny tiny stitches in between, and connect them all together. It's cool. I have some more like slightly detailed photos on Instagram if you're curious, or just look up English paper piecing. And then as you get further out, you take the papers out, and then you can make a quilt, or some people just make smaller stuff like a pillow cover, you know, for a couch pillow and stuff. So that's been a fun kind of hand sewing project that is portable. And then I also have this project, which I love so much, and I hope that I will continue with it. So this is, I've shared about it on Instagram. These ones are ready to be sewn whenever I get around to it. So this is, don't laugh. These are, I've saved a lot of my socks because they're cute. They've got kitties or just like fun stuff. Like this one has a heart on it. Super cute. I've got a bunch of cat socks. So, for a minute I was like, I'm gonna make wristbands with these cat socks because wristbands are cool. But then I was like, it's kind of weird to be like, hey, does anyone else want to wear part of this sock that I've already worn as a wristband? You know, that's kind of silly but fun. So anyway, I was like, what else can I do with these? Plus, like, the reality of like me playing a show and selling a bunch of wristbands is not very you know, possible, at least right now. So so this is just a piece of like quilt batting, thin quilt batting in the middle, and then a sock on top. And then this fabric actually wraps around, you know, from the back to the front, and then you sew it down. So I think these might have been the first two I did, so they look a little wonky, but I did sew some others and they were looking a little like tighter and stuff. So anyway, I'm really excited because the hope is to make like a quilt or something, pillow cover or something, by putting all these together. And I've honestly thought about socks for a long time because a lot of crafting is related to like upcycling and not as many things ending up in the landfill. That's why like I make quilts out of denim jeans and stuff. I try to mend clothing and stuff. It was kind of like a, you know, something I was really interested in a long time ago, but it still carries through with some of the stuff I make. So I'm really excited. Sounds kind of dorky, but the other thing too is I've tried to mend socks, and I have mended some, but you know, they last a little while and then they, you know, get new holes and stuff, and you're like, how many times should I actually mend this sock that's pretty thin, because it's, you know, just a regular sock, not super well made maybe. And especially like with cat socks, like some of them are like knee-high socks, so like there's a lot of fabric material there that's like in pretty good condition, even though the heel or toes have worn out and stuff. So this is just a personal project for me. Maybe over the next like 10 years I will have some amount of like a blanket of my old socks, and it's super nostalgic because I'm a really nostalgic dorky person like that. So yeah, hopefully you see on my face how excited I am about this. And I will link to the tutorial. She's done tutorials and stuff, even though I think the person that like first came up with it or made the like little pattern things is somebody else. But it's fun because it's hand sewing too. It's portable. Like even if I can't do all the sewing, I can like prep the squares and stuff. Like, it's just fun. I also wanted to show, I did these for the 100-day project too, is these quilt blocks. So I'm making a quilt for our room, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's not meant to be like super patriotic, but it did end up being kind of these colors because of the red centers, but just kind of this like sort of like vintagey feel. This is like an old shirt my husband had for a while. This is a shirt I made for my son when he was little, and just like I collected fabrics for quite a while, trying to see like what would go well. I have more than this, so like there's gonna be a bit more variation. Some of these are what they call like the Civil War reproduction fabrics, where like that era, these were based on like real fabrics people wore back then. Not all of them are, but some of them are. So, and this one's like has airplanes. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. And then some of them are more mismatched just because of whatever I had. I want to find, oh yeah, this fabric's really interesting. It's like a different weave, but we really liked that one. And then, I love this block so much. It's so pretty. It's like 50s kitchen or something. So anyway, that's just kind of, oh, here's the one I'm really, really looking for. This is my husband's grandpa's shirt. So that's kind of cool to include that kind of family stuff or nostalgic stuff when we can. So the plan is to make them like diamond direction and have them like spaced out, and then it'll probably be like a cream or a white in between, like checkerboarded. So this morning I was trying to figure out like if I know how many blocks I need total. So I think I need to make at least 19 more, but then when you sew, I'm not the best at math. When you sew stuff together, it always like shrinks down. So but yeah, I'll start by making at least 19 more and then finding the color of fabric for the blocks in between, and then I'll get a much better idea of how big it needs to be to fit our bed. It'll be really cool to have something we like actually have the size and the weight that we want. That's the thing about making stuff custom or yourself or whatever, so you can kind of get it exactly how you want it. So I'm excited about that. And then yeah, so lots of chatter about creative stuff. I guess one thing I also wanted to say from last year is let's see, I'm looking at my list here. My husband started putting songs online of his stuff, and it's kind of been fun because I've sing on a few of them. Long story, but he was it's a really long story. He was feeling like he should write songs based on like Bible verses and stuff. So yeah, it's been interesting. And he's specifically looking for certain parts that like don't always get sung about. So that's been kind of just interesting, and it's been great to hear his piano skills growing. And he has at least like 30 ideas. So I think there's like 5 online. I'll link to that. And I've only sung on some of those, but coming ahead, I think I'll be singing on a few of them. And then I have my list here, which I probably won't show all of it, but for 2026, I made this lovely list with categories. So like, I don't want to give too much away about music stuff because it might change basically. It's not that I don't want to share, it's just like things always go in a different order than you imagine or take like 3 times as long. So I've got quilts, knitting, music, and Upsidedown Cat, sewing, Christmas. It's always good to keep Christmas in mind if you craft. Start thinking about it, in like September, October if you can. I've learned that over the years. Just ongoing projects like the cat sock project. And then I left the spots for 3 things to add on to the list. So I'm trying to, again, finish up old projects and not add too much, because I sometimes get kind of overwhelmed, or things I'm like, I wish I'd gotten this done like 3 years ago. So if I have like less in general, maybe that will help. I'm trying to make more room for music, so it is important to me to finish quilt projects and stuff because it does clear space in my room, and then I can have more music stuff set up or instruments. It's like easier to transition between music and crafting, but it's all kind of connected and all a process, and I do get distracted by crafts, or I think like, oh, somebody's birthday's coming up, let me just try to whip this together, and then it ends up taking like a couple extra months. So I'm just trying to be more like, what am I actually committing to, like, and so it's been good. Like I used to try to knit for certain deadlines like birthdays or Christmas or whatever, but it's been good to just knit a pair of socks at a time. Kind of have someone in mind, but not like concretely. and then like not maybe tell them about it, so that when it's done, it's like a hey, it's done right now, instead of like a hey, it was supposed to be done for your birthday like 6 months ago, if that makes sense. So yeah, I also wrote down like, you know, I want to do more like craft parties, or maybe like teach people specific stuff like sewing on the sewing machine or printmaking. Like our house is kind of small, but you know, just having a few people over at a time with one interest that they're interested in, maybe we can, you know, work on stuff together, or I can teach people new skills. I think that's really cool, to be able to pass on knowledge that I've learned and tips I've learned over the years. Basically, like the last couple days I've been thinking like, yes, I have the next single figured out, like which one it's gonna be, but I am excited about the next several songs. So just to like start working on them, record them, like even though I don't know what order things will come out or which songs will be combined with others into projects, like just get the ball rolling and work on stuff. I guess like it will, I've been telling myself this for like a whole year. Like as I'm working on stuff, it will become more clear like which songs should be paired together, you know, like hopefully. So there's maybe not so much a sense of urgency, but just knowing like I had such a long break and now I'm getting back into it, and the kids are older where like they can do stuff by themselves for a certain amount of time without like, you know, it just depends on the day, but I can get a little more time to work on stuff. So yeah, looking forward to that. I think that it's important to keep creating. I think that I've really seen where, as other friends work on their projects, it inspires me. Hopefully me talking about my creative process and like slowly getting singles out once a year inspires other people. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Okay, I also wanted to show my notebook. So I don't know about other people, but it does help me to write stuff out and type it up and have lyrics and be able to take that to the piano or wherever. So I have, as part of my stuff last year, worked on some of that. Even now I'm like, oh, I need to like edit this and reprint out new ones or whatever, because there's getting like so much writing in between the lines. But it just helps me to like, you know, have stuff kind of typed up, and then I can be like, oh, that chord's like in the wrong spot, you know, like, because sometimes unfortunately stuff gets set down for months at a time. So to be able to come back to it and be like, oh, I know where I was with this song. I know like the part of the lyrics I was still trying to like figure out, you know. So just been good to like have it in a nice red notebook. And this is all just like kind of random stuff thrown in here, but maybe someday I'll make it more exciting. But sometimes I start like paper notebooks and they get so like out of order or confusing. Then I'm starting like multiple notebooks. Like I used to do that all the time. So having these like clear protector sheets and then like being able to rearrange them or like add more pages in the middle is actually really helpful. So anyway, that's about my cool notebook. I wanted to share one more thing. So also from 2025, this is my Christmas print I made for friends and family and coworkers and just, you know, the people on my mailing list. So it's a block print. It's a reductive block print because you carve away things to show like the next color. So it's kind of like that like thick eraser type material. So I printed red first. So all of this, like you can see that there's red underneath that. So everything was red. And then whatever I wanted to stay red, I carved away. And then I printed black on top. And so it actually turned out really good this year. I've had some years where I've struggled, and I even had a couple years where I was like, I want to make one, but I'm worried about the result, and like if I have enough time and stuff. So like last year I had done one that was just one color, because I was kind of just overwhelmed and like out of time and out of ideas. So this year I just was like, what am I gonna make? What am I gonna make? And I was like, well, I've red and black ink, and so I immediately thought of my red teapot. So it just turned out fun. So yeah, I do have some old prints on Bandcamp from over the years. If you're really into old Christmas prints that have a year on them, you might want to check them out. So yeah, it's been a fun tradition. Like maybe I'll share the photo that has all of them, but like it's been fun that over the years, you know, there is a collection, and I do have some friends who are like, oh, we still put up all the ones we have. So that's kind of fun, that for other people, you know, maybe they hang on to them too. So it's like usually cat themed, but not always cat themed. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to chat a bit. I probably forgot some stuff, but thanks for watching, and hope you have a good new year if you're watching this around January.